Right guys, just going to do a quick review of the Android head unit I just purchased. Just a quick look at the old Amarok before we kick off. Oh, right, here we go. Right, not powered on at the moment. It takes a little while to come on and you need the ignition to power it up. Nothing there, so just turn it onto the first setting. The boot logo comes on. It does take a while to boot up, and every time you turn the ignition off it needs to reboot, which is a bit of a pain. But I don't know whether there's a way around it. I just used the wiring harness that came with it. Plugged all the cables in. It's got the CAN bus, so you can operate everything from the steering wheel as well. I don't know whether they can pick that noise up. That is it's got a little fan in the back. You can notice it when you're sat here not going anywhere, but once you're moving in traffic you don't really notice anything. So it's just defaulted to the last station, or the last operation that it was on, which was the radio. The radio isn't that brilliant at the moment. I knew it wouldn't be, because it only uses one of the aerials. The Amarok has got two, and I think the EOS has got two as well. And it just takes feed from one of the aerials. I think you can get an adapter, so I'm going to try that in the next week or two and see if that improves the radio signal, because it's quite poor. That's normally a relatively strong station. You can hear there's a lot of hits in the background. And it's usable, but it's not brilliant. So we'll start off with, it looks very OEM, as you can see. Just looks like a normal VW head unit. We'll go to the home page. You can customise this to whatever you want. I've installed a few apps, and I had a few problems setting up the Play Store at first. It allowed me to log in, but there are only a small handful of apps available. I'm not 100% sure why that was, but hang on. And we'll find out why Kerry. Yeah, but I fiddled around with it, downloaded a couple of market enabler apps off Android Market and XDA developers, and it started working. Should be connected to the Wi-Fi in the office here. I'm just parked up outside the office, so we'll just check and see if that's on. I'll just go to browser. Came with Opera browser built in, but you could install whatever you wanted. You can see it's just downloading that now, and there we've got the BBC web page. So that's all fine, connected up to the internet. Just use the back button and that'll take you back to where you were previously, or the home button takes you back to the default screen. There are quite a few apps already downloaded, the usual Angry Birds and the mobile radio thing. The screen on this isn't capacitive, it's resistive, so you got to push it with your finger to change to the different home screens. You can't sort of swipe across, or if you could you'd have to use your finger, but then you end up pressing something else by mistake. Go back to the home page again. This is more or less how it's set up. There was a weather widget app there, but it took up a load of space, so I've got rid of that. Probably get rid of that Google thing as well. That gets in the way. That's for your iPod. I don't have an iPod set up. I've got my GPS installed here. The Wi-Fi was on a dongle, which is attached there. I've fed the TV antennas just here. There's an iPod connector just in the glove box. So you can get digital TV. I don't know whether it'll work with that antenna in the glove box. I doubt it. Probably have to just take it out and put it on the roof, but we'll come back to that. The default nav is iGo 8, and you can access that just by pressing the Navi button. I don't really like that. The wife has it in her unit, in her VW EOS. It's okay, but I'm used to using Copilot, so I've installed Copilot, and that seems to work pretty well, really.
Welcome to Copilot Live Professional.
I do all the usual stuff on there. I'm not going to go into that at this stage, but you can install whatever you want. Obviously it's Android, so whatever apps you want. This will take you to the list of apps that are on it at the moment. Some that came pre-installed. Just take a quick look at the iPlayer. But obviously there's thousands and thousands of things out there. Download whatever suits you. It'll take a little while to boot up. Just try and play that. That's what I was watching previously. Obviously you normally go into the full iPlayer menu. The screen's not brilliant, but it's okay. Don't think the resolution's the best out there. You'll see on the front there's two micro USB slots. This one contains all the nav that came with it, the iGo, and a few other bits and pieces, bits of music that are already installed. There's another one there. I've ordered an extra 32 gig card to go in there, so I can put my music in. There's also a USB slot, so you can. I haven't got the. Comes with this cable, so you can put a pen drive on there, but obviously that looks a bit crap, dangling down. So you can see we've got the iPlayer up and running. Looks okay. So the resolution's not the best, but it's perfectly usable. Takes a little while to buffer up and then we're fine. So just go back to the home page. What else have we got? I haven't got my phone connected up at the moment, but I've managed to upload my contacts via Bluetooth onto the phone. Now that we've done that, that's the back button. Menu button is just like a whatever app you're in, you get your sub menus for altering any settings. This is for the home screen, so you can change your wallpaper, manage apps, whatever. The usual settings, so you can configure things the way you want, add and remove apps, whatever. Button takes you back to the radio. Forward and back buttons. I'll just show you, I'll just start it up. Shouldn't have done that because it's going to reboot now. So I'm just going to show you how it displays the heater. Got climate control in here, so it displays all the heater settings. You can see the fan going up and down there, temperature control, and all the other different settings as you press the button there. Also, I haven't got a camera hooked up to this. I've just ordered one today. But if you had a reversing camera, it should display whatever's out the back from the camera. As it is at the moment, this Amarok has got sensors in the front and sensors in the rear. So if I put it into reverse gear now, it shows you that that's the front of the car. I've got a car parked just in front of me, so it's indicating that I'm very near to the car in front and there's nothing behind me. If there's something behind me, then this end would display. Knock it out of reverse gear. Once you start driving, that would disappear, or I'm just going to press the P button and that should go off, and then we're back to the radio. Just going to the steering wheel. Got your usual, it works with this quite well. Usual mute button there. Volume up. Volume down. And then you can tune your channels with this on the radio, or flip through your CDs, tracks, or MP3s if you've got them on a disc. That all seems to work quite well. I did have a fault this morning, which is strange. I went a little drive up to the other end of town, got back in, and the radio didn't come at all. It just didn't come on. I tried doing a long press on the volume button, a short press, turning the ignition off and on, just nothing. I knew there was power to it because that little fan that I just mentioned, I could hear that running in the background. So I'll just show, when I installed it, I very stupidly didn't disconnect the battery, and that's given me an airbag fault light which I need to clear. You can see on the dash. So if you guys are installing something like this, make sure you disconnect your battery while you're doing it. Connect everything up. Once everything's connected up, then you can reconnect your battery, but I've got that fault displaying now. I have got a fault code reader on its way to me, so hopefully I should be able to clear that myself. I thought disconnecting the battery might settle that, but it hasn't done. So as I was saying earlier on today, the unit didn't power up at all, but I knew it was working because I could hear the fan on the radio actually purring away in the background, so I knew it got power to it. I just quickly disconnected the battery and everything was good to go again, so that's a little glitch that you need to be aware of. Hopefully it won't happen again, but I'm not too sure. What else is there to show you? Not a lot really. I haven't got the phone hooked up at the moment. I can try it. I just need to turn Bluetooth on my phone. Takes a little while. I'm just going to apps. My phone. Click phone. And now it's paired with my HTC HD2. That must be something that they've used at the factory or when they were setting up. Go into the phone book menu, and as you can see, all my contacts, I managed to upload them via Bluetooth off the phone into the device, so that works pretty well. I have made a couple of calls on. Quality's reasonable. Just trying to see who I could ring that might have an answer phone, just to demonstrate. Well, I'll try the traffic line. It'll cost me a few pence, but God, it's worth it, isn't it? So there we go.
Welcome to traffic line 1200 from O2. You are near Southport. Press the star key to repeat or the hash key to skip forward through the traffic.
That's quite nice and clear.
You can also switch characters.
I've spoken to a couple of people just using the inbuilt microphone here, and they seem to be able to hear me reasonably well, although I've not tried it when I've been driving along, so I'm not sure how it picks up background noise, but it's usable. So I'll knock that off, go back to the home page. What else? A couple of apps just to show you. For ISIS, he showed this assistant app, which I already had on my phone, but it might be handy to have an ear. It's a bit of a gimmick really, but works alright.
Shall I start your briefing?
Just tap the mic. Not now, thank you.
We like the same sort of music, and we hate the same sort of music.
Yeah, the radio's
really,
going in
really
the background.
Sort of, yeah, getting to.
It's not the radio off. Good morning, how are you today? This didn't work the other day for some reason. It's not picking up the mic. I think that's possibly because I've got the phone still connected. So I'll go out of that, but I'm sure you guys are familiar with this sort of app. Might come back to that at another stage. But it does work. What else have we got? Nothing much to show you really, just usual apps, whatever you want on there. Most of these came preloaded. That's the iGo app that came pre-installed. you can put on what you want. That's not set up. I'm filming this with a GoPro cam as a Wi-Fi backpack. I think if I paired the Wi-Fi backpack to this, then I should be able to preview what the GoPro sees on here. What use that would be, I don't know. I suppose you could use it as some sort of temporary reversing camera. Whatever, I don't know. Play Store, so you can go into Play Store and just download whatever you want. As I say, I did have problems with this at first. It was only showing me a few simple apps. I fiddled around with it and got it going. Why is it logging in? So apps. Yeah, just download what you want. Everything seems to install quite well. Obviously some features won't work on here, even on camera or G sensors, I don't think, or gyros like you would have in a tablet. So, but most of the other stuff should work pretty well. I'm going to go into that now, but I'm sure you guys are familiar with this interface. So that's about it. The installation, I'm going to have to take it apart later and fit the reversing camera when that comes. So it came really quickly, this, from these guys, Pumpkin, over in China. I think it only took about 5 days to come from Hong Kong, so it's really quick. Caught me by surprise. It came on Monday and it took me an hour to fit. Could have probably done it in less time than that. Just a question of popping this tray out, disconnecting the cigarette lighter, disconnecting these switches, popping these off, 4 screws to remove, a couple of screws at the back of here to remove, torque screws. Prise this out. There's little clips on there that feel like they're going to snap, but